Hello, my name is Jonathan Thompson. I'm one of the directors for NADP and also Vice Chair for the Professional Development areas, that's CPD, accreditation and conference, working closely with John Conway and Brian Luchmere, our Chair, as well as Lynn Wilson. Today I'm going to feed back to you on our sort of three subcommittees that we work closely with. The first one being continual professional development. The next one would be communications, and thirdly, membership and partnership. The CPD group, this is an area that I as a director, I started off with sort of chairing and leading, and it's grown. Hopefully you've seen the benefits, I'm sure you have, of the training programs we've been able to offer. More recently this has been chaired by Jennifer Harley, Joanna Haswell and Caroline Huntley, beavering away in the background, helping with the detail, working closely with the office manager to ensure that training events happened, particularly what was required at the right time, and also working with our institutions that hosted them. Many thanks to Jennifer Harley, who's just stepped down as being chair, so we'll be looking for a new chair of that group. Our aims of the group to identify suitable professional development. As I said, we do have a plan for the year, but we're always open to suggestions, looking out to the sector and responding to the changing landscape to ensure that those programs are hitting the sweet spot. So we're very fluid and making sure that what we do offer is really what members require. Obviously busy helping to organise and deliver those programs and making sure that they're cost effective for both parties, for yourselves and also for the running costs of the office. What did we do this year? The most successful one, and the one we had just had to keep on repeating, was working effectively with autistic students in universities, and this was run by our specialist lead in this area, Nicola Martin. Joanna Haswell as well was supporting her. And this gained through the Department for Education. It was accepted as part of the registration process for specialist one-to-one study skills support and specialist study skills support and specialist mentoring, which is great. It was really timely for those members that really needed to gain that CPD certified qualification. So we delivered this in winter of last year. Then we repeated it again in March. Unfortunately, COVID-19 hit, so we couldn't repeat it again in March. But we have been offering, I believe, online versions of it, and those that were expected to attend the session in summer, another online program will be delivered. More information you can get from the office manager, operations manager, Lynn Wilson. That was delivered up in Teesside and as well as down in London. So we try and stretch the offer out as across the country the best we can. What else has been happening? So in terms of our thinking of the year ahead, we've been mindful that inclusive practice obviously hasn't gone away, and we offered some training through Paddy Turner on looking at inclusive practice, just what it is, what does it mean for us as practitioners, what does it mean for academics, all those involved in the institution. That was very, very successful the year before. We wanted to build on that, planning for that now, well, over the summer, ready for the offer in 2021. COVID-19 hit, so we've all gone and busy with our institutions trying to reinvent the wheel there, but we will get that back on track. It begs the question though, you'll be asking, will you be offering a training program on remote support and remote delivery? And I think yes. I think it obviously raises lots of opportunities, but it also raises many more barriers. So that's definitely one that's going to be on the agenda to look at, and everybody's been on a webinar of some kind about it, but we'll really look hard to see what's missing within the information or what needs building on, rather than just skimming the surface in terms of good practice. So we'll drill down on that within the autumn term. From September onwards, we'll be meeting as a board and then carrying that on. Other ideas were transition planning for tertiary education to come in higher education, what that means for our disabled dyslexic students. That's possibly one, but we'll look open for ideas. So if there's something you really think you require as a membership, then get in touch with us through the office. We recognise that budgets are stretched. Colleges and universities we're all struggling a little. So with that in mind, we'll ensure that there'll be value for money, and delivering online obviously mitigates a lot of extra costs, whether it's travel for the trainer, travel for yourselves, food and catering, things like that. But so yeah, we'll be mindful of that. Make sure it's value for money and it doesn't stretch your institution's budgets. The other groups, communication. What is this about? Well, the communication group oversees the website, GIST mail and the newsletter. Acts as a steering group to those three areas. Chaired by John Conway and supported by Sarah Todd. GIST mail over the year, well, it's buoyant, isn't it? Everybody uses GIST mail. I say everybody, but if you don't have to use it often, but if you have a question and a query, it just takes 1 or 2 emails in that year and it can really help. Or you may not post, but it's just reading other members' conundrums and responses to things. It's always new, isn't it? There's always a new issue. You might have dealt with that situation before, but it's in a different context. GIST mail is a great place to resolve that. So that's been buoyant as ever with that. Also with sector updates. I think off the top of my mind it started with the removal of QAG. What would that mean for us? The prospect of tendering, assistive technology, procurement and training, what would that mean? And what would that mean for DSA funding? COVID-19 hit. So it's changed again a lot of things, it's put some things on hold. But again, GIST mail, it's been helpful for that, to keep us abreast on those waves of movement, as well as talking about the impact of COVID-19 and sharing those expertise and conundrums and problem solving that we've all been doing. The website, again, there's Lynn Wilson, our operations manager, has helped that, increased that as a greater resource in terms of COVID-19 resources. If you go on there, there'll be lots of resources and videos in relation to remote practice, and do have a look at that. And there's also been a reorganisation of the journal pages. So do make yourself familiar with those. If you take time out, it's very difficult as term approaches, but do make good use of those resources. Take time out, and I'm sure you'll be of great use. Moving on, thoughts for next year. The newsletter or monthly video, we're open to ideas. So if you have ideas about how you wish information to be disseminated to you, do let us know through the office. So monthly video is an option. You might be fed up with videos, but if you're like me, sometimes there's so much to read and you have a quick engagement with somebody, it just helps bring it to life. And also we have plans to tidy up the website and ensure, of course, easy accessibility to resources for our members. Any feedback again on that, do let us know. Finally, membership and partnership subcommittee. This review is really obviously about yourselves, about the membership and about partnership with other organisations and non-profit businesses. This is chaired between myself and John Conway and supported by Ian Carter and Sarah Todd. As I said, membership is for individual members, educational organisations such as colleges, universities, not-for-profit companies and charities who fulfil our membership criteria. Our main objective this year was to review the benefits for all those groups of people, all those involved. In April we decided that associate membership was really not viable for both parties, and removed this as an option for membership, and to focus our membership offer on partnership for not-for-profit companies. Our plans for 2021 really is to take stock and review our current offer in the light of these current changes in the sector, in the workplace, and again we're looking for feedback in this area. So I hope that's been of use, and I'll hand you back over to Brian or Lynn within this AGM. Thanks for listening.